What is up, everybody? I am the one and only, the hot commodity, the longest reigning WWE pay-per-view champion, the one you all came to see, the one and only Aunt C, and joined by my good friend and co-host. It's been a while. I mean, I'm glad to see you again. Introduce yourself, sir.
It's been too long, and I'm Tyler Peters, and I hadn't went into hiding. It's just been a busy month, and I'm just so delighted to rejoin Ant and be back for the Attitude Years because this was our fandom. We enjoy and love watching these episodes of Raw and the pay-per-view. So, Ant, thank you once again, my friend. It is always a pleasure to be a part of this fabulous program.
Thank you, sir. Well, you've been killing it yourself. You've been, doing your own thing with the weekly reports, all that fun stuff. I'll give you a chance to talk about that later on.
Yeah, I
But
appreciate that, and you've been killing it yourself. I mean, you're the world heavyweight champion. If people go to YouTube and watch the video version, they'll see that you've been on a 5 month title
well,
reign.
come by WrestleMania. By the time I defend my title at WrestleMania, it'll be 5 months I've been champion. Right now I've been since November, so I'm like 3 months, 2 months, something like that.
It's
Three
still
months.
incredible. I mean, you have just taken on all comers, all the opposition, and have dominated. So that's why
I
you are
think
the.
I beat you at one point, didn't I?
You had to bring that up, didn't
Yeah,
you? Yeah,
yeah,
you did
yeah.
have to. Yeah, we're gonna have to do promos again. Okay, you get me material now. I compliment you. Actually, I commend you. That was a good way to be nice and subtle, but yet come back at me. So I can admire that.
Respect, respect. Well, here's something that we're all gonna admire. We are covering WWF Raw is War from July 20th, 1998. The final Raw before fully loaded in your house. And we got a fully loaded card and a fully loaded night for that. But first, let's talk about Raw is War. And we start off the night with Mr. McMahon. He comes down to the ring and Vince says, "Tonight is a night for reflection and respect for fellow men." We see a video of the Undertaker dressed up as Kane. Last week we saw him win the match
Yeah,
as
we did.
Kane. Um, and then we see the Undertaker telling Vince McMahon to go to hell. Oh, well, this is great. We're getting interrupted again by another phone call. It's
Well,
okay. This is
anything can
live.
happen. That's what I love. We're live. I mean, it's spontaneous. It's dangerous. It's a war zone. It's Raw. It's war. What do you expect? People are
It's
calling. There'll probably be dogs barking. We'll have the cops coming. It's
listen.
got that attitude feel. I mean, it is very uncensored.
I'm a hot commodity, so I'm busy.
I mean,
People are
you are.
calling.
Everybody's buzzing. They're wanting to know where Ant's at. They could care less about me, but I'm putting my buddy over because he deserves it. Forget about me. Screw what I'm doing. But anyways, hey, listen, it's going to happen. Just a disclaimer, like Paul Heyman, a spoiler. I mean, we're going to have run-ins. Who knows? There's going to be a lot of
It's gonna
surprises. That's what I
happen.
love about the creativity of this program.
Saving us a lot, Tyler. Thank you, sir.
Hey, I'm here. You made the tag, and that's what I'm here to do. It's been so
Oh,
long. I need to do it.
well, we see. So yeah. So basically, we just see footage of Undertaker screwing over Vince McMahon last week, and we see him telling Vince McMahon to go to hell. Vince said, "The stroke of genius came to me last week when I ordered a rematch," and we see a footage of everything that happened. Undertaker walks down to the ring and he faces Vince. And Vince says, "Let's talk about respect. If you are going to be the WWF champion, you're going to have to show respect to the proper people. You can't do it alone. You need me. Last week, your actions were disrespectful, and I won't take it anymore. You want to be champion? Stone Cold Steve Austin is destined to be. Undertaker, are you and your brother Kane in cahoots? Let's talk about retribution. What I'm gonna do is he says, what I'm gonna do is gonna hurt you more, is gonna hurt me more than you. You're gonna learn a lesson tonight. Undertaker, you will fight Mankind and Kane in a handicap match. Now, you can leave. Just before you go, Undertaker, you can go to hell. And then Undertaker chokeslams Vince McMahon. He then chokeslams the Stooges and Sergeant Slaughter. Um, Pat Patterson ends up tripping, and Vince McMahon falls out ringside. So Undertaker just coming in here and not really taking the respect and retribution that Vince is talking about. Is this a good move on Undertaker's part to attack the boss again. Poor Vince.
Yeah, it's not a good move. With all due respect to Undertaker, I feel sorry for Vince McMahon and the Stooges, Pat Patterson, Gerald Briscoe. What did they do to deserve a chokeslam? He just told him to go to hell. That's not that bad. I thought the Undertaker's, a dark entity, anyways. But the Undertaker seriously had to do what he felt his convictions were telling him to do. So yeah, the Taker has to defile authority, just like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like a lot of the characters during this time period or time frame per se. I enjoyed it, when the Undertaker, that's what we're talking about. Everything seems organic. There's a lot of chaos, but it can be controlled at times. And Vince tries to get that sympathy. And I love the video packages. They really convey the story so beautifully. And yeah, what a word. Beautiful carnage, because the choke slam on the Stooges. And Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe are just tremendous with Vince McMahon, the corporation. I mean, Vince is tugging on everybody's hearts. I mean, I thought a lot of cards were going out. The holidays are over, but Vince McMahon is such a Samaritan. I just can't say enough good things, and I don't even know the man, but he's selling WWE, and he's going to get billions of dollars, so why not? He's probably going to sell it to Disney, and we're going to have the Undertaker ride. That's been a rumor. I don't know if that's going to happen.
That would be the Dead Man.
Yeah, it would be the Dead Man.
Death Valley would be the new addition to the Walt Disney World Park.
It would be. Could you imagine that ride? And he's giving out free choke slams. It's part of his comedy tour. Taker's going to come and say, hey, listen, you get one choke slam, but you got to pay me because I am the Undertaker. I'm the Dead Man. I don't know where I was going with that, but we taught Disney and it kind of segued. But, anyway.
We were talking about selling it to Disney.
Yeah, we were, because that's been the big story, and I'm finally glad that settled down because that's all we were talking about, and rightfully so. But I enjoyed, McMahon and Undertaker. He was saying, you're loyal to me, or I created you, and now you disrespect me. So I like the dichotomy between the two and the corporation.
Listen, I agree. The drama there. And listen, Undertaker's not even answering anything. We don't know. Is he working with Kane? We still don't know. So We'll find out some more. Well, our first match of the night is for the WWF European Championship. The champion, the game Triple H with China, defending against D'Lo Brown with the Intercontinental Champion, The Rock, by his side. Here are some quick notes from this match. Triple H goes for a pedigree quick, but D'Lo escapes, and Triple H clotheslines D'Lo to the outside. D'Lo nails a sit-out powerbomb, and The Rock punches Triple H. Triple H hits a running knee, a knee lift, and a clothesline, and gets a 2. Triple H then hits a suplex. The Rock pulls Triple H down. China then sends The Rock into the ring post. China's not playing, man. Get your hands off of my man.
You better stop with the 9th wonder of the world. Certainly.
Better. Mark Henry then walks down, and China has a steel chair. Triple H goes for a pedigree, but The Rock hits Triple H with a rock bottom. And then D'Lo Brown pins Triple H, and we have a new WWF European Champion, D'Lo Brown. What do you think about The Rock helping D'Lo get the win there, Mark Henry? And, we do know that Rock and Triple H are going to fight at Fully Loaded, but The Rock helping his fellow Nation member get the win there.
I think it shows he's a team leader, talking about The Rock. I mean, D'Lo Brown, you better recognize, just like his theme song. And Mark Henry and China, that's been intriguing. The confrontations getting physical. China not afraid to mess with the men. It was kind of early intergender, what we were seeing progress here. Triple H and The Rock and DX and the Nation of Domination just had great chemistry all together. So I thought it was a fun match, and it was telling the story. Hey, DX was portrayed as more of the baby faces. You had the Nation as the heel. So what do? You cheat to win. That's one of the aspects. So I thought it was a fun, entertaining match, and you had guys that could work. They could go. And I love China adding her dynamic. This was very compelling TV.
Yeah, and this is the beginning of Mark Henry and China kind of. We'll see it play out towards the end of the year, but Mark Henry and China tend to have a thing going later on.
I can't wait to find out.
Sexual chocolate, but it's good to see D'Lo Brown get the win here and become the European champion. And yeah, just more drama between the Nation and DX to continue into Fully Loaded. Speaking of drama, we got our Brawl for All match. Quebecer Pierre taking on Steve Williams. I didn't see this. I'm going to assume that Steve Williams got the win, or Dave Pierre, I did not pay any attention to this.
Yeah, he
I'm not
did.
gonna
Dr.
lie.
Death, Steve Williams won the match. Once again, both guys are talented, meaning, pardon me, Quebecer Pierre, who's now PCO. That wrestles, I think, was competing for Impact. But, they had Barry Switzer. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I can respect the University of Oklahoma and Steve Williams if you go back to the territory days and all his Japanese run over there. This match, though, the whole concept, it's not just a knock at Vince Russo. I just did not get it. I'm with you. It's hard to even write notes or pay attention to these matches. I get why they were trying it, but this is one of those concepts that just fell flat to me. Like you were saying, you didn't pay much attention to it either. But yeah, Dr. Death won the match.
Yeah, 100%. And I didn't really care about this match at all. So I was excited. Well, there you go. I just burped. So I was excited to see that
Hey,
one.
anything can happen. You never know.
There you go. I was excited to see this. Kane and Yamaguchi-san are at ringside, and Yamaguchi says, "Kyoko, my wife has disgraced me. You insulted me, and you're gonna face the punishment my way." They tell Miss Yamaguchi-san to hold the ropes for them. Kai and Tai then enter the ring, and they have her kneel down. Yamaguchi-san then takes out a big long whip. However, before he can whip her, Val Venis comes down. He attacks Kai and Tai with the paddle, and Yamaguchi-san runs backstage, and Val carries Mrs. Yamaguchi-san backstage with him. So, I mean, what type of punishment? I mean, she's a little freaky. I mean, she likes
Yeah,
Val
she's
Venis. She
very
likes
freaky.
this,
And I
this sort
thought
of a stuff.
was he going to do something sexual with the paddle
Yeah.
here? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, I think she messed finding Val's remote, if you get my drift. I think that's what it was. And then Val made the save. He's like, hey, this lady, I can't stand for this, even though that's Yamaguchi-san's wife. And Kantai was very hilarious during this, era of the WWE. And Val Venis, what can you say? He's got away with the ladies. He says hello to them. He greets them. That they love to watch him walk down the aisle and with the towel. And the wife was enamored. Even going back to last week when they had to blur out a certain part of his anatomy because they couldn't show it, but showing how its attitude, she was wanted, turn up the not only the channels, but I think the volume on a remote, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to go any farther, but you'd have to watch the episodes. But I enjoyed it. But yeah, that left me wondering what was the deal with the paddle. I was like, this was revolutionary. Yamaguchi-san, what did they do over in Japan with respect? That was making me wonder. Is it a cultural thing? Maybe you can educate me, enlighten me.
It didn't make any sense, and I still don't understand what was happening. But hopefully we'll get some kind of
hopefully we'll get answers. I was perplexed myself, and I think it's entertaining. I like the exchange and Val Venis feuding with all of Kantai now with the wife in this kind of bizarre love sex triangle, whatever you want to call it or term.
Very strange love sex magic. Well, speaking of love sex triangles, skill slam of the week, we see Undertaker choke slamming Vince McMahon, the Stooges, earlier tonight. Love sex triangles.
What did Vince. What did they do? I mean, what did Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe and McMahon ever do to Undertaker? They only provoked him, and we're begging for it, so why not?
Kind of weirdness here. Speaking of weird, though, I thought this was weird too, Tyler. DOA comes out with Paul Ellering to take on LOD 2000. Animal comes out alone, and he calls to the back. Before anything can happen, DOA and Paul Ellering attack Animal. Paul goes to run over Animal with the bike, but Hawk eventually runs out and makes a save. However, DOA attack Hawk and leave LOD 2000 laying. What was Hawk doing? Why didn't he help out his partner? And how could Paul Ellering run over Animal with a bike?
Where was Hawk? Yeah, talking about people that were missing, and his tag team partner Animal needed him, and he was going to let Paul Ellering run into his private area with that bike. That was what was making me just uncomfortable. I couldn't take it. And DOA getting this dastardly revenge. Why didn't Paul Ellering go through with it? He already had him, but they had to wait for Hawk to come down. And everybody's wondered what happened to Hawk. I mean, I can't wait to see what's going to happen next week. Not much to dissect. You do a brilliant job, so I'm just going to add my 1 cent instead of 2 cents there, because I never was good at math. I don't have much intelligence myself, so you have to make me seem bright. So I'm
You're
being sincere.
fine.
Oh, I know. I'm just having fun with our audience because this show deserves to be put over. It deserves 10 stars in the Tokyo Dome, Houston, Texas, Nashville, Connecticut, wherever you
Wherever you
you listen or
that is
watch,
such a great
wherever I
spot
was going.
compared
That's
to.
where I needed to make the tag before I went off the rails. Okay.
Well, going off the rails, we have Jeff Jarrett with Tennessee Lee and Southern Justice to take on the Lethal Weapon Steve Blackman. These guys have been feuding for a while now. Steve ends up with Steve Blackman gets back up with Ken Shamrock and Dan Severn. They come out to be by his at ringside. Steve nails a power slam. He misses a flying headbutt. However, he nails a martial arts kick and gets a 3 count. After the match, however, Owen Hart runs down and tosses Ken Shamrock into the ring steps, and Dan Severn just walks backstage. We know Owen's going to take on Steve Blackman, the special it's a dungeon match.
Yeah, it is. It's going back to
loaded.
Calgary style.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, what did you think about this situation? I mean, Owen is going go after Ken Shamrock as much as possible. Really not much of a match here, but what do you think about this Owen and Shamrock feud heading into fully loaded?
Well, first of all, the match, there's not much to unpack. I love Jeff Jarrett, especially Tennessee Lee, and also I want to pay our respects to Jerry Jarrett, who recently passed, his father. And absolutely, I concur. And Steve Blackman's so creative. We talk about his offense all the time. I love their chemistry in the ring, Jarrett and Blackman. But Owen Hart, I like this because it's a continuation of attacking Shamrock, getting some redemption, and they keep going back and forth to really intensify this rivalry. And Owen Hart was being overly aggressive, which I found very good because Shamrock would be the same way, knowing his background. So why not just throw him in the steel steps? I don't care if you throw him in the crowd, the concession stands. Owen Hart was not going to have, or pardon me, let Ken Shamrock walk out as the most dangerous man. Because remember, enough is enough, just like Owen Hart says. And he's like, you think you're dangerous? I'm coming at you, buddy. So that's how I'm kind of viewing it as a fan. So I loved it. I thought it was done and executed nicely.
Yeah, man, it's time for a change.
It is time for an alteration.
I wonder I just wonder what sort of something's gonna happen here, and I'm just excited to see.
It's a combustible combination where you've got Shamrock and Owen Hart. So it's leaving a lot to the imagination.
Well, we see the Undertaker leaving the arena. So, I mean, he's supposed to be in a match. Where is he going?
Yeah, he's mad. Nobody knows. It's more the mystery and intrigue with this whole Undertaker, Kane, and Stone Cold Steve Austin corporation. There's a whole lot going on.
Is he going to meet with Kane?
Yeah, exactly.
WWF Champion Stone Cold Steve Austin being interviewed by Jim Ross. And Stone Cold says, I'm rolling into fully loaded to beat someone's ass, whether I have help or not. Maybe Undertaker left to screw Vince McMahon before Vince McMahon screws him. And then Vince McMahon, the Stooges walk out. Vince says, screw Vince McMahon. And that ring, instead of the Undertaker facing King of Mankind, it's going to be you in the Undertaker's place. Stone Cold says, you're not going to say that like I'm a puppet. I have nothing to prove since I've already beat them both. Vince says, if you leave tonight, you will face me to strip you of the title. You will force me to strip you of the title. I'm busy today. Hello.
Yeah, you are busy. Hey, that's Vince calling you. Hey,
hello.
Attitude years.
That's great.
How's it going?
Okay. You will force me to strip you of the title and give it to the Undertaker. Stone Cold says, Mankind and Kane, I'm gonna beat their asses, and when I get backstage, I'm beating the living shit out of you. So we now know that Stone Cold has to be in the Undertaker and Kane's place.
He does.
What are your thoughts on this?
I found it's always good. Let me back up when you have Jim Ross and Stone Cold Steve Austin, because we all know how close their relationship really not only was, but is till this day. I'm sure that the amount of respect, and JR had to be on those calls that were famous for the Texas Rattlesnake. It's just more of McMahon and Austin going at it, and I always enjoy the banter, and the heel part of me just wants to say Vince does need to screw over Stone Cold Steve Austin to get Austin in this situation. So I'm all for it. I thought it accomplished what it needed to as part of the overall storyline, so I was fine with it.
Me too. Me too. All right, let's move right along with that. I mean, again, just more drama for Undertaker.
Yeah, a lot of dramatics.
Moving right along, we now have let's see. All right. Sorry. Okay, we now have our next match of the night. Faarooq taking on Owen Hart with the Nation of Domination by his side. Faarooq hits a backbreaker and gets a 2 count. Owen nails a swinging neck breaker. Owen nails a flying elbow drop and gets a 2. Owen then nails a backbreaker and applies the Boston Crab to Faarooq. And Owen grabs a mic and tells fans to not call him a nugget because the fans are chanting that. Faarooq hits a power slam and gets a 2 count. Faarooq then jumps on Owen Hart's back. Owen nails a missile drop kick, and Faarooq misses a leg drop, and Owen locks in a sharpshooter, and Faarooq taps out. After the match, Ken Shamrock comes down and chases Owen Hart through the crowd. Competitive match between Faarooq and Owen Hart, but again, just sort of more leading up stuff to Philly Low between Steve Blackman and Owen Hart. What'd you think?
I thought the match was solid. Faarooq starts very aggressively, meaning his offense. Owen is always seizing the opportunity. I can watch Owen wrestle anytime, and Faarooq possesses that natural power. I didn't admire the nugget chance. I thought that was humorous by the crowd. And Owen showing that they were infuriating him. They were frustrating Owen Hart, to be exact. And Owen wins, like you said, via either the sharpshooter or Boston Crab. And I like that Shamrock chase Hart. It just we see more of that feud unfolding.
Okay. Respect. Okay, so I agree. I think this is gonna be a great match. There's a lot of chaos going on
There is.
There's like the dog barking. There's like door bells.
Don't worry about it. My dogs will probably start barking, telling me, "Hey, why ain't you downstairs?"
Yeah, this is obviously a great time to record here, Tyler. We found our time here.
This is quite a time. Yeah, we've changed it and thinking, "Hey, this will be a great time." And
yeah,
it's like, hey, speaking of chaos.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, I'm sorry, and I'm trying to focus.
No, you're doing good. I'm probably distracting because I'm going into a tangent.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So then we see Mankind, Kane, and Paul Bearer backstage, and Mankind says Stone Cold will end. Have a nice day, which no one really cares about. We then see Mark Mero come out with Jacqueline, and Jacqueline says, "I got something to tell you, girlfriend. You don't want this in a bikini contest."
That was one of my favorite segments, by the way. I
yeah.
love looking at those two women.
She calls Sable Sal and says, "How many pounds can you lose in 6 days? Skank, I'm gonna let you come out here and raise my hand, and like a lady, I'll accept my victory." Sable comes out and Sable says, "Honey, you're trash." And then she walks down to the ring, and Jacqueline says, "Look at that big fat cow." Sable says, "This body keeps them up all night long." And then Jacqueline then says, "Then show me, ho." Jacqueline rips off Sable's dress, and she's in her bra and panties. But then Sable tosses Jacqueline across the ring. With that, we're going to take a quick break, and we will come right back. And welcome back, folks. I am still your current and longest reigning WWE pay-per-view champion, the one you all came to see, the hot commodity, Aunt C. And I'm joined by my good friend, co-host, the man who is killing it with so many other projects going on right now. He took time out of his busy schedule to help us here with our Attitude Era recaps. Introduce yourself, sir.
This is Tyler Peters. I'm kind of becoming a regular nowadays with Attitude Years, if you haven't noticed, and it's always a fun time. Thank you for having me once again. I have missed doing the Attitude Years recap, and so I'm looking forward to jumping right back into things.
And anytime I have to say this, Tyler, just so that everyone knows it, I've messed with you all the time about this, but anytime I see Jim Cornette, my first thought is you and then Christian, because now
Christian,
because
we're both big fans of Jim Cornette.
Anytime I just watched my friend was watching a Yokozuna versus I don't even know who he fought. He fought someone in like Raw from '95, and Jim Cornette's with them. And I'm like, Tyler,
Oh,
going on to
I
do
would
it.
have loved it. I do remember when Cornette did manage, considering all the big monster heels and what was it, Camp Cornette or something, where Owen
Camp
Hart and,
Cornette, yeah,
you had
Vader,
Davey Boy Smith,
yeah.
and he had all of them, man.
Listen,
Hmm.
well, we, don't adjust your sets. We did have a little costume change here.
Yeah, we did, like a rock show.
Yeah, we're talking about winning the guy. I think Tyler got a little bit too excited, so we're like, let's hurry up and get dressed.
That's what
But,
happened. Hey, we were all getting pumped up. I'm like, I've got it. It's getting baseball season. I've got to get my Cardinals shirt on, even though I'm not a St. Louis
yeah,
fan. It's a great city, by the way.
the
I'm just
Cardinals,
kind of,
St. Louis, why not?
yeah.
Represent the Cardinals. Speaking of Cardinals, a bird, it's hard to go from birds to Sable and Jacqueline.
I know what
This is
crazy
a
transition.
great transition. So Sable's usually been so far this year has been fighting women who have been sort of standing either against Mark Miro or with him, this
Right.
time with him. These two have been having an exchange of words since she, debuted with Miro after Mania. Or I'm sorry, after Over the Limit, or I'm sorry, Over the Edge. I need to go home. Where am I?
No,
I'm
hey,
decades
you get
ahead.
the over part correct.
Over.
I'm glad I didn't have to do that part.
I'm the one that's messing it up. So yeah, so she's been, war of words. Finally, these two women are gonna go at it this Sunday at Fully Loaded in your house in a bikini contest. I mean, she's calling her Sable, she's calling all these things. By the way, one part that I forgot. So after I forgot to mention this, after Sable is stripped and Sable tosses her across the ring. Edge runs out and nails Mark Miro with a
Yeah, he
downward
did.
spiral. So just a little note there. But how are you feeling with Jacqueline and Sable, the bikini contest going into Fully Loaded in your house?
I'm looking forward to it, and the anticipation keeps building and building. If you know what I mean, I can't wait. And we got to see the bikini. I feel like Jerry the King Lawler. I was getting all the feels again, seeing Sable and that what was it, a black bikini, and then seeing Jacqueline. Man, they're both hotter than firecrackers. It's incredible. So I can't help it. We want to bring the attitude. We're going to push the envelope even on here. It's uncensored for a reason, and hey, that's why you named your network. I mean,
I
it's
always
spontaneous.
I always knew, especially when I see these ladies, that black was one of my favorite colors. I always liked the color black,
Yeah,
especially on Sable.
I always like the color black as well, and I like about anything. She could wear my least favorite color, and I would be just fine. I would be happy. I would be over the moon. I would have lollipops and rainbows. Boy, I'm really
Sunshines,
pushing the
lollipops, and
limit.
rainbows, and
Yeah, exactly. Singing a song, thinking I'm in heaven. I mean,
it's
wow.
awesome. I mean, yeah, I'm just excited to see this. This is just, going back as an adult, looking at this, is just obviously eye candy for the fans.
I mean,
There's
you
really
couldn't
not
help it.
much.
We're not trying to be weirdos, but I mean, come on, Sable and Jacqueline. If you see all these ladies, they're beautiful, they're gorgeous, and hey, let's face it, they're sexy for a reason, and that's why they were eye candy, and we were looking at them. You can't tell me
Definitely.
the women weren't thinking Shawn Michaels, Val Venis, The Rock, and all those guys. Oh, that that's why we watch wrestling. So it's the same for us.
Yeah.
I get tired of the fairness. Come on, it's all about an evening playing field. Whatever happened to
I
that?
mean, who wouldn't want to see Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock in a bikini contest? I mean,
Exactly. I mean, over some beers, and it's like a bad vacation. You can't get out of your head. As much as I like those guys, I mean, maybe for the ladies, they would get into it. But yeah, as far as the men and as far as I'm concerned, Sable and Jacqueline, I'm all for it. With all due respect to Miro or Edge, I could care less. It's all about Jackie and Sable.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm excited that they really got my ticket going for this Saturday, Sunday. We see Shawn Michaels join commentary for the rest of the night. Interesting to see the HBK out. We get another Brawl for All contest, Scorpio versus Skull. Again, Tyler, I didn't watch any of these Brawl
I
for All
thought this was a
matches,
dark
so
match. I mean, honestly, was it not on the actual episode? Maybe I was missing something, but I didn't really pay attention. The only thing I put down was 8 Ball had dominated Scorpio, and then Scorpio ended up winning. He made the
yeah.
comeback story, but that's the gist of it. I
Yeah,
didn't pay
Brawl for
attention
All is
to it.
boring.
Yeah, I can't stand Brawl for All. Let's just veto Brawl for All altogether.
Goodbye, Brawl for All.
See
We
ya.
see the Nation of Domination celebrating D'Lo Brown's win. We just talked about he became the new European champion, defeating Triple H earlier the night. And the Rock says X-Pac tonight, I will leave the Intercontinental champion. So the Nation has a lot to celebrate. We get our JVC Kaboom of the Week, which was X-Pac defeating the Intercontinental Champion The Rock last week on Raw, which guaranteed X-Pac an opportunity tonight against The Rock for the Intercontinental title. And let's just talk about that match, The Rock versus X-Pac. Before the match starts, DX and the Nation members brawl around the ring. Rock hot shots X-Pac into the ropes and gets a 2 count. Rock nails a Samoan drop and a swinging neck breaker to X-Pac and gets a 2. Rock hits a people's elbow and gets a 2 count as well. X-Pac getting out of the people's elbow. Can you believe that?
I know. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. X-Pac nails an X-Factor and gets a 2 count. And then he also hits a Bronco Buster. Rock nails a power slam, but X-Pac tosses Rock to the outside. China has the Intercontinental Championship and she hits the Rock with the title. X-Pac pins Rock and gets a 2. Rock accidentally clotheslines the referee and is met with X-Pac's spinning heel kick. Daniel Brown tries to hit the sky high, but Triple H drops him. Triple H hits the Rock with a pedigree. A referee runs down, or I'm sorry, and then doesn't like X-Pac gets the pin, right? And then a referee runs down and basically tells the referee that Triple H interfered. So the Rock is still the Intercontinental Champion by DQ. After the match, China hits the referee. D'Lo, Billy, and Triple H fight the Nation members. After getting separated, Triple H tells a girl in the crowd to show her breasts, and she does.
She does. I mean, she gives the people what they want, and I'm just mad at the censors. Come on, who cares if the kid's right there?
Show it.
Yeah.
And she might be 18. It's okay.
Actually, that's my favorite segment. I know we're not doing our favorite moments, but that may be up there with the Sable and Jacqueline segment. Triple H is the man. She just did it. DX was over. I mean, they were over enough for that woman to really. Well, you take it from here. I think
exactly. What I like about some of the stuff is like, Triple H still had a good night, even though he lost the title. He still got to, have some fun. X-Pac looked good. This is one of X-Pac's first single outings, so it looked great. The Rock obviously has to get a shitty win. But again, 2 out of 3 falls this Sunday for The Rock and Triple H for the Continental Championship. What do you think about the rivalry between The Rock and Triple H? I mean, it's just sort of starting up, getting off the rails here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I like how The Rock is being more of the true heel, where he's got to cheat, like he said, and with the way he won the match. And X-Pac, I could watch him work with anybody. He's similar to Owen Hart. There's a lot of
match with Bret Hart, dude, from like '94 from Raw.
Was that when he was the 1, 2, 3 kid?
Yes, sir. Oh my God.
Oh, I remember that. They tore the house down, and that's when Raw was in the smaller arenas too. It was first getting started, the first couple years, and here comes a young X-Pac, and him and Bret, the chemistry, which that just shows you how Bret could work with anybody, and so could X-Pac. So. I'm glad you brought up that perspective on the Hitman and X-Pac. That's why you're the man. I mean,
thank you, sir. I just like watching these because, like, for example, growing up, X-Pac was more of like not comedy, but he was cool. Like growing up, I didn't really watch the wrestling. I watched the wrestling, but the personalities as a kid, you're into.
It was more about the characters.
Yeah. Now that I know the characters, I'm looking at the action, and he really is a good wrestler, X-Pac. And I wish that he had a bit more opportunities to hold single belts.
Yeah, I concur. X-Pac was ahead of his time, and so were a lot of these guys. And I think anytime you got The Rock or Triple H or any of these factions, when speaking of D-Generation X or the Nation of Domination, it made for good television, if not great. And I know we say that a lot, but it's just true during this time period. I love not only the chemistry, the ways they go about to win the matches. I mean, there's always little details that are telling the story.
100%, sir. 100. And again, this Raw is just kind of leading us to full load, so we're not going to see a lot of stuff taking place. We have come to our main event, and we have the tag team champions, Kane and Mankind, with Paul Bearer, taking on the WWF Champion Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Undertaker. But remember, earlier in the night, the Undertaker left the arena.
Yeah, he just left. He did an Elvis and left the arena.
Left. So then Vince is like, well, Austin, you're going to take Undertaker's place in this match. It's going to be a handicap match. So let's see what happens. So Stone Cold's in control to start, and he sends Kane into the steps. Mankind applies the mandible claw, but Stone Cold sends Mankind's head into the ring post. Undertaker walks down to the ring with a steel chair, and Paul Bearer ends up nailing Stone Cold Steve Austin with his shoe. Keep your shoe on.
Yeah, Paul Bearer, come on.
How dare he?
How
Stone
dare
Cold
he even
hits.
take off his shoe? What's wrong with him?
He has a weird fetish, I think. It's
He
intense.
does. It's Paul Bearer. Come on.
It's Paul Bearer. So Stone Cold hits a stunner to Mankind. Kane stops it from happening, though. And then Stone Cold hits a low blow to Kane. Undertaker has a steel chair, and he hits Kane with the chair. Stone Cold nails Mankind and the Undertaker with a steel chair to end the show. What is up with Austin? I mean, he has a tag match with the Undertaker against Kane and Mankind this Sunday. He doesn't give a fuck who's in the ring. He's taking out everybody with that steel chair. I mean, here's my question for you, right? Back in the day, obviously Stone Cold is the man, right? Root for him.
Oh, he's got to be. He was the man.
He is. But now we're watching it back and we're seeing that, Undertaker is he did provoke Austin, right? He did kind of fuck him over at King of the Ring. But the past couple of times Undertaker's been in the ring, Austin's been the one to kind of hit him with a stunner, hit him with a chair. Is Austin playing with fire here looking back on this?
Yeah, it's really intriguing the way they've told this story, the build of it all with Taker and Austin. Yeah, now Austin's kind of, giving the Undertaker his own medicine, but it kind of leaves you perplexed with that whole conspiracy theory that we've seen played out on the episodic Raws as of late. And it's really a mystery because they're supposed to be tag team partners, yet we get Austin not trusting Undertaker. Undertaker does not trust the Texas Rattlesnake, and we're getting all these moving parts. You've got Paul Bearer, you've got Mankind, you've got Kane, but I'm enjoying that I don't need to know every intricate detail. It keeps you guessing. That's that suspense of disbelief, which is what wrestling is founded on, by the way, or sports entertainment in this case. To me, it's still wrestling. Oh, well. But I'll tell you, and it's remarkable, the rivalry. I'm enjoying it because I just don't know. That's why it's hard to give you a straight response, because you brought up a fascinating point that Taker is, or pardon me, Austin's doing the same, retaliating, it appears, to Undertaker. And then you've got all, his brother and storyline, Kane, you got Paul Bearer, you got Mankind, you've got McMahon and the corporation also. So it's really riveting to me.
A lot of different parts involved in this storyline here. Mm-hmm. Well, we are on the road to SummerSlam, which is very exciting. But the first stop, we're almost there, sir. The first stop that was fully loaded in your house. Before we go, I want to give just a rundown of some of the matches to come up on that card. We have the European champion D'Lo Brown taking on X-Pac. I'm excited to see that match. These guys
can't wait. Hey, you better recognize with D'Lo Brown and X-Pac, they're going to tear the place down.
100%. Two behemoths, Vader versus Mark Henry. Excited to see those two big guys go at it.
What time is it? Is it going to be Mark Henry's time or Vader time?
It might be Vader time. I don't know. The special dungeon match between Owen Hart and Ken Shamrock. We have the 2 out of 3 falls match, Triple H versus The Rock for the Intercontinental title. The special bikini contest, Sable versus Jacqueline.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Sable Bob me, please. And then in the main event, the WWE Tag Team Championships on the line. The Tag Team Champions, King of Mankind versus the opponents. They're going to face each other at SummerSlam. The WWE Champion Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker. And we're going to be covering Fully Loaded in Your House. And our next video, I can't believe we've already made it to fucking July, man. We got a lot more coming our way.
Yeah, we've been moving fast in 1998, and it's been a great ride. I'm just looking forward. I'm excited for what the future holds for 1998, the rest of it, the remainder of that year.
It's going to get good. And also, when we do our recap, we're going to be talking about the top movies, TV shows, music, bringing you your little time capsule back to July 98. Of course, sir. Of course, gotta do. We're the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast, sir. Now listen, before we go, I want to thank everybody for checking us out. Thank you for listening to us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to stay notified when new content is created. You can also check us out on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. I heard, I'm just pulling this up here, that we have where is it? Where did I see this here? I saw something that said how many people. I don't know if it's up here, but We have a lot of people who are actually following us on
Yeah,
Spotify.
a
So
lot
thank
of multitudes of people.
Yeah,
Seriously.
multitudes. I think it's like 192 or something, but it's like, we still appreciate the
Come on, we can exaggerate a little bit. Come on.
yeah, there's like 1,000, why not?
Yeah, there's 5,000. Why not?
That's the whole Jim Cornette. That's his sort of fucking
Yeah,
thought
whatever
process.
works.
Sell it, right? Okay, so again, thank you everyone for Tyler, before I jump ahead, you've been doing a lot, you've been very busy. Tell the
I
people
have.
where they can find you if you're not doing the Attitude Era with me, sir.
They can find me at Dustin Teller 86 on Twitter, WrestleBuddy.com, and GeekBuddy.com, which is a sister website to the WB. That would mean WrestleBuddy. The Rewind Wrestling Radio Podcast, got to show them a lot of love. Of course, the Uncensored Wrestling Podcast, all the programming, including this fine program with Ant, the champion, the Italian Stallion, representing everybody on the Attitude Years podcast, and also standing strong with Waylon Mars, back when with Danny, co-host with him, and then also in the corner, which I've got to co-host a lot more with Benny Mack, and just a plethora. It's wonderful, and just like yourself, always a great learning experience. So hey, as much fun and as much smack talk as we have amongst each other, there's genuine love. So I appreciate you, and it's a lot of fun, man.
Of course, and I wouldn't want to have any other co-captain. You're my Jim Ross. Well, it's funny because you kind of go back and forth. Sometimes you're Jim Ross, sometimes you're King. I don't know what I'm getting with you. Sometimes you get very
Yeah,
heated.
yeah, I'm mixing things up. You never know if it's a Cornette, a Lawler, or a Jim Ross, or what. What?
You've got like the Michael Cole sort of. You can go heel and then you switch right back
Yeah,
to it.
or maybe I'm taking a page out of Michael Cole's book. That's high praise. If only I was like those guys. But hey, we all aspire. That we all have goals, and that's definitely inspirations that people you name. So.
Well, there's another CCW commentator who made it up to NXT level up. So I mean, I don't know, sir. The sky's the limit.
I've heard. Yeah, and very talented guy. So who knows? Yeah,
Sky is
congratulations
the
to him.
limit.
Yeah, congratulations to him. Yeah, has a great voice. Have you got to hear the episodes?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
See, I haven't either. So I was just going to ask. It ain't that bad. I'm supposed to, commentate shows in Nashville or help with CCW, and the guy that got signed, hey, but I've heard him on the CCW show, so I know he's good.
Oh, some backstage heat at CCW.
No, there's no backstage heat. I'm not even in his league, man. So I'm
no, first of all, yeah, you're not in his league because he's not in yours. So let's just call it a spade a spade.
Oh wow.
Tyler Peters is the man, and fucking any promotion wanting to pick him up, you are the bomb, and I will definitely.
Well, hey, he said it. But I'm not gonna, I'm gonna back him up.
Listen, I'm the hot commodity. What I say,
you are.
I mean it. He's the one to be the end all be all, man. You don't get another good commentator like my man Tyler, since Jim Ross. So there you go.
Man, I'm blushing. Wow, what these compliments.
Damn, you're pretty easy too. See, the ladies would like to hear that. You're a pretty easy guy to make happy. So listen, this episode made me. Go ahead, Tyler. Go ahead.
No, there's a lot of bad numbers coming my way. Thanks to that.
His number is 2 or 3. No, I'm kidding. So here's the deal. This is a good episode. We're on the road to SummerSlam. We're on the road to Fully Loaded in Your House this Sunday. We will be back shortly with our next recap. Stay on the lookout for our predictions episode. WrestleMania season's underway, so we got a lot of stuff going that way. Tyler, thank you for joining me. I know we're going to be doing another recap soon.
Anytime.
Staying safe, y'all, and stay uncensored. Bye.
Bye.